Hello again. When you want to do something like this, you can't really think too hard about it. You get to a point where thinking replaces action, and you really don't want to do that. If you're anything like me, you are the type who thinks things through left, right, and center, and you have all the excuses at the end of your hour long thinking session to just say no. This is really important for people like us. You have to do it now. Whatever you're thinking of doing, get off this video and go do it right now. And if you can listen to this video while you're doing it, great. Go ahead, do that. And that's what I had to do whenever I started going to the gym and working out. I had to mix it up with things that I liked, so I would do it more. This is obviously not the best way to go about things, you know? We'd much rather just go to the gym. We'd much rather just do the thing that we like or the thing that we need to do. Going and doing something that you don't want to do requires a bit of a reward. Sometimes your brain and your body just don't link up and they don't want to do it. Sometimes the neurons in your body just don't want to activate, you know? Sometimes they don't want to go and get things done. When you basically have to look at yourself as a little child that you're teaching. You know, you got to look at yourself like you're someone responsible, that you're responsible for taking care of. And that can be tough because a lot of times these feelings that you have, like, oh my God, I feel so shitty today. I can't hit this workout. I can't make this YouTube video. A lot of times those feelings are super strong and you're just left by your lonesome with no outside distractions or stimulations to get away from those feelings. That's when you have to get up and do the thing. Now, momentum is a beautiful thing. Let's say I need to go for a run. Usually when you're in that down sort of state, when you're, laying in bed, not really wanting to get up and do anything, you're like at the bottom of the mountain. You see, you're basically at the bottom of the mountain and you're thinking about how tough it's going to be when you're 75% of the way up and you're tired and you're hungry and you can't go on. You psych yourself out when you think, oh God, I got to go on this run. You're thinking you're going to be sweating, you're going to be out of breath, you're going to feel like shit because you ate like shit the night before and you got to push through it and you haven't been nice to yourself lately and you just got to do it. It's the hardest part that you always think about that keeps you down, that keeps you wanting to stay in comfort. The bed feels all the more softer when you're thinking about the pain and the struggle you will have to go through doing what you got to do. So in those moments when you're laying in bed, what you got to do is you got to break it down into steps. And breaking it down into steps, basically you whittle it down to its simplest task. Like, okay, what is the number one most important thing I need to do right now to get closer to the thing I want to accomplish? I want to go on a run, right? What's the first thing I got to do? Well, I got to get out of bed. And getting out of bed is way easier than going from the bed to the run. So your mind goes, okay, well, I can move my legs and force myself out of this bed. For a lot of people, if you're just extremely depressed, I mean, I've never been at that point where I just don't want to get out of bed all day. So that's kind of where my expertise kind of, falls off a little bit. But basically, you want to find the easiest task. If it's if you literally have to whittle it down to, okay, get your right leg off the bed, or get one leg off the bed, you do that, and then you see it as an accomplishment, and you say, okay, got the first leg off the bed, now I got to get the second one. It's going to be way easier, I promise you. I promise you, after you do the first one, the second one is going to be easier, because what happens is you go, okay, well, I already started. I already passed that, I crossed that Rubicon, and I got myself to at least move, and then you get the second leg out of bed, and you're like, all right, great, I have both my legs out of bed, and then I can just slowly get up, and, you've done that every single day of your life, so that's not entirely too difficult in the moment. And then you go, okay, I gotta find my shoes. So you go out and find your shoes, and you gotta say, okay, well, now I gotta sit down and tie them, and now I gotta find my water bottle, and now I gotta find my keys, now I gotta find my phone, my headphones, and next thing you know, you're outside your front door, and all you have to do is walk a little faster, and then a little bit more faster, and then next thing you know, you're running. And it really is just a climb, It's not. You make it way harder in your head than it needs to be. You make it way harder in your head than it actually needs to be. You literally just need to find the simplest first task and get it done right away. Can't overthink it. You can't go, oh, well, I'm a little tired right now, so maybe I'll, get a coffee, or maybe, I one of my favorite YouTubers just uploaded today, so I'll watch that first. Bitch, watch that on the run. Stack these things. A really good tool to use when you're on this journey trying to improve yourself is stacking the good habits with habits you already enjoy, and habits that you could argue are, much more, they're useful, but you find yourself more drawn to them. You know what I mean? So let's say, I don't know, you're really into storytelling, and you're really into video analysis like I am, and you're really into like, oh, what did the last scene of The Sopranos really mean, or whatever. And that's just kind of your morning routine. You kind of roll out of bed, you put on a video like that while you're making your morning coffee. Do that while you're on a run. Do that while you are on the Stairmaster. Do that while you're in the gym. I know it sounds ridiculous. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like the kind of, it doesn't sound like the kind of thing that you'd play at the gym or on a run or whatever. It's not hype. It's just kind of like a boring analysis, but it makes your brain tickle. Okay, we're not David Goggins. I hate to say it to everyone watching this, but if you need to watch this video to help yourself, you're not David Goggins. You're not the type who can just get up and just fucking psych yourself out, stare at your shoes and go, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. You absolutely have to do this. You need crutches. You need a few things that pull you out. Because trust me, you are probably worse off than you think, but once you get those shoes on and you go out for that run, you're going to be way better off than you think. And all I can really say is do it. Do it right now. Let's see, it's 9 minutes into this video. If you haven't already gotten up and done everything you got to do to get your ass out that door and get on that run, get on that Stairmaster, get in that gym, then you fucked up and you need to fix that. Okay? Got it. Good talk.